Hey, it's your boy DJ Wolf here. Trying to watch myself on the road here. Won't be doing nothing stupid. Okay. Well, anyway, I did a video earlier promoting, I guess, the highly televised Muhammad Ali funeral. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. Well, try to watch it when I get home. When I'm at home with some time. Because I need to see it. I owe my respects to the man. The man who said I could be somebody. The man who said that I ain't gonna let nobody try to brainwash my opinions, my thoughts of my self-worth. That I wasn't the man who taught me about not compromising over bullshit. Excuse my French. The man that taught me that it was wrong for me to be told to go fight somebody else in another country that hadn't bothered me or anybody I knew or any of my people that I knew. What they did to me in my country, my own home country, people I knew. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying anything about or getting negative about the country itself, but it is stated about how our history was in this country. I love my country. I love this country very much so. I really do. I served 3 years, 6 days, and something like that. Well, I served 3 years, 6 months, 11 days to wake up in the U.S. Army. So I know. But Ali himself was a conscientious objector, and he did not want to go to Vietnam to fight a war that really, for the most part, was unjust for us to even be involved in the first place. But he felt himself that he had no mainly because that in his religion itself, his religious beliefs, and he unfortunately he had to pay the price for it by not being able to earn a living for 3 years as a boxer. But it only made him get stronger. You know, there's a old adage that always says, what ails you, well, something about what ails you can only make you stronger. In other words, that applies for a lot of rules in life. If you come from a dysfunctional family or bad home, you know, does that mean you have to apply yourself to the bad habits that happen when you lived at home under your family? If they so had that, no, you don't. Must be a bad accident up here somewhere. But what it does mean that you can make yourself destined for greatness if you so choose to do so, without having to make any compromises on that. That's what Ali was. Ali became great despite his obstacles. That's the point I'm trying to make. And if he could do it, you can do it. No excuses. There's no excuses at all. It's really not. You know, we as people, African Americans, and especially the younger generations, need to learn from this. Real talk. Ali was a talker, but he was also a doer. You know, we got generations of people who talk the talk and don't walk the walk. You know, he talked, but he did. We got people talk about what they're going to do and don't do what they talk about. You know, we got too many talkers and not many doers. You know, I will say that. And the only way you're going to be able to achieve anything, if you want to talk about something that you want to do in terms of your achieving your goals in life, you have to go do what you got to do to achieve those goals. Getting a good education. Like somebody said, education is a new currency. And believe me, take it from somebody that knows. That is so true. I went back to school myself back in 1997, and I didn't regret it. Best move I ever made. Best move and best investment I ever made. You know? The same thing for my kid. You know, he went to school, you know, he continued his education, and now he's doing pretty good. I must say. You know. But you got the old saying goes, you gotta give a little, get a little. You know? That's all there is to it. You gotta give a little sacrifice. Cause I remember when my son was like maybe 4.5. I had to sacrifice a little bit. You know, I mean, I got him in sports and stuff when he was young, but I had to sacrifice some of my time 3 days a week for him so he'd be able to have a better life when he got a little older. You know, I mean, did I hate doing that? Did I hate missing those nights when I had to go to school and couldn't stay up with him, and he tried to wake up with me, you know, many nights before he went to bed, see his daddy before he went to sleep. I think about this sometime, man. I mean, I spent as much time with him as possible anyway, but for 2 years I had to make that sacrifice. You know, I had to. Didn't want to, but I had to. You know, and it paid off. See, some of us ain't willing to make that sacrifice to get ahead in terms of our careers and stuff. Some of us actually just, okay, you tell somebody, oh, ain't no jobs out there. But the big picture you gotta look at is there are jobs out there. You just gotta apply yourself to the jobs that are available. You know, instead of waiting for them to give you a minimum wage, a $15 wage to flip burgers. Why don't you go out there and prepare yourself for a job that's actually going to be more meaningful than you just flipping burgers? You know, I try to tell people that. I told people that online. We had an argument about that on YouTube not too long ago about that. And I'm like, wait a minute. You don't own the corporation. Apparently you don't have stock in it. And you going to tell those guys that they need to pay you $15 an hour to flip burgers? When, if they do, believe me, you ain't gonna have those jobs. Those jobs are not gonna be as available as they used to be. I can guarantee you that. It's not gonna happen. You know, right here in the DMV, they just voted to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. I think it's not even in effect for another 3-4 years, something like that. But like I said, no, I mean, there's jobs, and jobs are hard to come by, but if you're looking for a specific type of job, and I do know if you're looking for a specific type of job, certain jobs aren't going to be able to be hard or going to be able to be good to come or be easy to come by. I can guarantee you some of them won't. That's just the nature of the beast. You know, if you're looking to try to wait until they pay $15 an hour at McDonald's somewhere, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. If you're working 2 jobs, making, I think there's one guy said he was working 2 jobs, one making $14 an hour, part-time, the other one making $10 an hour. But he said he'd be glad when they'd be able to do it so he could just have one job making $50 an hour. I was like, that don't make any sense. You're already making over the minimum wage per hour for both jobs. I know what he's saying, we'll spend more time with family, and that's all well and true. But really, you think they're going to pay you $25 an hour for the job you're doing if you're doing 2 part-time jobs, one making 14, the other one making 10? No, dude. You've been better off just keeping 2 part-time jobs if that's the case. You know? Otherwise, you're going to be making less. You know? And if that's the case, if you got to work them 2 jobs, you might as well see about getting you a full-time job anyway. You know? It's all about education. Education education is the key. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you for a fact. It is the key. Nothing short of it. Nothing short of it. You know, I went and got some certifications over the last time of 86 to 1999. That's what I did. I went to school. I was going to different schools and stuff over the years. You know, taking different courses and stuff. You know, I plan on trying to take some online stuff pretty soon myself. You know, education is the key. And computers and software. You know, you can take a course here. You can take a course here. There's it's called professor teacher or something. It's the software that they have. And do you know that software will actually teach you how to use Microsoft Office products? And here's the kicker. The software that teaches you that is only like about $15. Yeah. The entire tutorial package is only $15. And it comes with different lessons. It virtually teaches you. It's virtually give you lessons. I need to actually, because I haven't. And I need to go ahead and do that myself. Why is this woman riding my ass? You know, I'm not only going to go but so fast. You know? But anyway, and that's what I'm saying. Education is really the new currency. And no excuse about, I'm going to wait till McDonald's give you a raise. No. You got to up the ante with your job skills. Now that I will say. You know, if you say, well, ain't no not good for me to get, maybe you need to get some education. You know? I remember years ago, I just started going back to school. Now, mind you, I was going back to school right after I got out of work. And I actually was up, had to be at work on my job at 8:30, be off by 5 o'clock, something like that. And then I had to take me, was it 8 to 5:30, something like that. And it had to be at school by 6:30. It was rough. Because of some days I wasn't driving, and other days I had to catch the train and the bus. I caught hell. I had to do it every night for 2 years. Well, not every night, but the first, I think part of the first year I did, and then I went and had to get another vehicle. But it was rough. I did what I had to do. You know. And some days my job, for some reason, they got wind of it because they knew I was working to try to get out of there. At the time, the job I was working for. They started increasing my workload to a point where I was actually running between my last job and when I got ready to go to class. On purpose. I'm like, how you want to do that with me? Y'all supposed to be having my back, my support. Nobody wants to be a cur. I mean, I didn't mind doing the job I did, but it wasn't paying no money. It really wasn't, especially when I had a growing family at the time, during the 90s. It wasn't paying no money. I had to do something. I had to get the hell out of there. And I decided, to look for some courses. I actually had the VA and all of that stuff, and at the time, and I said, let me take advantage of it. I was already out the military almost a decade before I went back to school. Yeah. Well, I take that back. I actually went in 93, and then I was in there for about 3 months. And then I had to drop out because my old lady was like, well, you ain't spending enough time with the baby. And all that. So I said, okay, well, I drop out. I said, when you get a little older, I go back. And that's what I did. About 4 years later. So actually, I take that back. I did go to school at the same school, matter of fact, before, and then I dropped out after 3 months. But I went and took up another field, which was computers and electronics. Which I'm glad I did. I learned a lot. So, but nevertheless, it was a learning curve. I mean, it was a good thing for me to do. I will say that. Hey, this goofy bitch. Excuse my friend. Then she on somebody's ass. Look, I'm only gonna go as fast as I need to go. People can't drive. I swear, they can't drive on the DMV. Man, they drive like nuts. And even back home, they drive crazy. They drive in Cleveland somewhere. I don't know what's going on. They really drive really crazy. I was up there one year about, was it 4 years ago? maybe about 3-4 years ago. Yeah. And we were going across the shoreway. Well, if you're from Cleveland, you know what I'm talking about. Over there, between Shoreway and I-90 East, and them people were actually driving like a bunch of fools. I mean, because they had raised the speed limit to 65, and some of the people had to be going 85, 95 miles an hour. They were flying. I was like, what the hell? I mean, I was easily doing 65, maybe 70, and I know it was going a lot faster. I mean, they were dangerously flying. I was kind of a little bit afraid because my dad goes out breakfast out where he was going breakfast. I don't think he was anymore. He goes someplace else now. They just drive too fast. Dangerously fast. But getting back to the education part, I can't stress enough. Education is the key. It really is. And in order for you to be able to stand up and hold your head proud, be the bookworm. You know, you got, excuse my French, you got niggas out there tomorrow. Oh man, you a bookworm. Yeah, because half y'all don't try to do what you're supposed to do out here. And you know it. You don't try to get the education, you want somebody to do it for you, to hand it to you. You know? I mean, although I have my parents, and my parents were there for me, throughout my childhood, growing up. I still had to do some things for myself as a young boy to a young man that I had to grow up to be. I had to learn to take my control of my life and not wait on mama or daddy or mama to give me a handout. Because at some point, you got to do it on your own. I heard about a murder that happened recently of a 2-month-old baby, 1-month baby, something like that. The baby died in the hands of the father in Chicago. I think it was in Chicago. Yeah, it was. And here's the stupid part about it. It was sad that it happened to the child, but it was stupid that his 30-something-year-old dad killed him. The life escape. I mean, my mind escapes me about exactly how it happened, but it don't matter. It was fucked up. So here's the thing. His girlfriend had left the baby with him. The guy was living in his mama and daddy's house in the basement with his other baby and his wife. Really? Really? So I'm not saying that because yeah, that too, but I'm like, man, come on now. You gonna tell me honestly that this Matt Tapper, okay, gonna sit there and kill his baby? He already had another infant baby with his wife. Why was he even in a relationship with another woman in the first place? And why did he kill that baby? Living in the basement of his parents' house. Like, let's go show how stupid niggas is. I ain't gonna have no 30-something-year-old guy. I think it was 34, matter of fact. 30-some-odd-year-old guy living in my house with his wife and a baby in the first place. And them parents, honestly, it's really the parents' fault because you know what? They called him. You had to call that guy for the guy to be like the way he was. You not only was called, he fucked up too because for him to do that shit. I just like, man, what's wrong with black people, man? Really, we need to wake up, seriously. And right now with this election, the most probably, as far as I'm concerned, and I can honestly say that with conviction, the most unpredictable election in the history of this country. We don't know what's going to happen from here as far as election. I mean, we know it's going to be a president, but just saying. So, in any case, guys, this is DJ Wolf. I got more about this and other stuff. I got some on the back burner. Well, actually, I do got some more stuff to talk about. I'll be working on some other projects, and I'll let you know about that real soon. Talk to you.